Everyone, I am Bets Golden. Thank you so much for joining me today. All right, I want to talk about vellum today, and I have a lot of noise going on in the background. I apologize for that. The screens on my house are being replaced. I have dogs that are angry. I have a bird upstairs that is so used to having his owner at home that she literally chirps her little head off until she gets out, and my son's up there talking to her. Oh, the joys of living in quarantine. So anyway, I'm sorry, but I wanted to talk to you today about if you have a background that you really like. So this is super cute. It's little melted snowman faces, little piles of snowmen. And this is out of the Snazzy Snowman from Simon Hurley line. I think it's a July release, July 8th, 2020 release. I have links provided for you down below, so you can get your hands on this if you like this little stamp set. And I want to put a sentiment on it, but the problem is sometimes when you want to add a sentiment to something that's already so busy, it just makes it not so good. It just makes it really busy, and I really want to have you melt my heart on it. But as you can tell, no matter where I put that, it just adds to the crazy, right? And so what you want to do in a situation like this, use some vellum. I love vellum. I went away from it for a couple years. I came back to it because I realized that it can calm down your sentiment area, and it will let your sentiment shine through without allowing it to get too busy. But it also doesn't take away from your really cool background. So we're going to go ahead and stamp that out and finish this card off. I just used Stays On Jet Black ink on the face, and then the Midnight Snack for my little puddles. And I used a little bit of glossy accents on these little droplets just to give it some dimension. And then the only coloring I did was on the little carrot noses. I know you guys have heard me say this before. I really love working with snowmen and snow because I don't have to color. So that's always a good thing. All right, so for this, I want to use You Melt My Heart. So I'm going to grab my acrylic block, and I don't know if you guys know this, but you can actually emboss on your vellum, which is super cool. The only thing that I'm talking a heat emboss, I would not run it through an embossing machine simply because it will crack. You can die cut it as well, but you can stamp on it. If you stamp on it and you're not going to emboss, go ahead and use something like a Stays On or an archival ink that's waterproof, just to make it so it won't slide around, because it is kind of a slick surface. If you haven't taken time to subscribe to my channel yet, or you're new here, I certainly hope that you do so. Make sure that you hit that notification bell. And if you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. If you enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up, and the YouTube algorithm always loves it when you guys share. All right, so I'm taking some of my static pouch and just laying this out. I keep mine like this. I saw this in a video. Wish I could tell you by who. If you know, please list it down below. It's not cool to take someone's idea and not give them credit. So I definitely want to give credit. I think was it Daniel? Oh, it's going to drive me nuts. All right. So I'm just going to take this sentiment right here using some Versa Fine Clair ink, right? And just going to lay this out. Now, I didn't trim it down first because I am going to heat set it, and my sentiment is super small. So I do not want it to burn myself. I got to hold the page somehow. So I figure, I'll heat set it and then I'll trim it down. So I'm just going to lay out my embossing powder, set this off to the side, grab my heat gun, my embossing gun. And there we go. All right, so if you notice that as I was heating this, I kept it up off of the surface here, and that just allows your heat to disperse more evenly through your vellum or your paper or anything really, so you can get it set a little bit quicker and better. You have less likely of scorching whatever substrate you're using. I did want to let it cool a little bit because it will be hot to the touch, but now it's It's fine, it's cool, it's good to go. So I'm going to take my handy dandy paper trimmer, and we're just going to trim this off and put together the card. And one of the questions I get a lot about vellum is, well, what kind of adhesive do you use? And that's an excellent question, and I do have a solution for you. And I only use this adhesive on my vellum simply because it is pricey. And it's like $5 or $6 for this little jar. It's Gina K Connect. It works great on vellum, better than anything else I've ever used. You can't even see it. But like I said, it is pricey. So for this, I just kind of want to go around the edges with my, I think I'll just do Midnight Snack, even though I'm putting it on a black card base, but just define those edges a bit. There we go. And then I'm going to put my snowman down. Always put together your card open because it allows it to get better placement because there's no spring on it, which is super nice. And I'm using art glitter glue for this simply because I love this stuff. It works beautifully. And I always do the additional tip here because it gives you just the right amount and it protects your investment in the sense that you're not putting too much down, so you can get a lot more wear out of it. I put a pop dot on the side of my bottle when I have lots to glue, and I just put the steel tip pin in there so I don't lose it as well when I am gluing. So that's another tip for you as you are card making. All right, so here we go. I really like using glue because I can kind of slide it around if I don't get the placement correct on it. There we go. And then from here, I'm just going to take this and, you know, you can move it around, but as you can tell, it really does not take away from the background. It sits really nice on that and doesn't take it away at all. I think I'm probably going to put it right down there. And I'm just going to take my Gina K Connect glue here and just try to kind of put it over the letters like so. Put this on. All right. Just press this out, and as you can tell, I mean, you cannot even tell where that glue is. Look at that. Isn't that amazing? I still am blown away. So there you go. That is how you can add add a sentiment to the front of your busy card and have it not interfere with your beautiful background that you created. So vellum, I get my vellum from cut cardstock. I like the heavier grade on it. The one that has the more pound, it's a thicker vellum, so I can do things like emboss. And you can emboss, you can die cut with it, you can stamp on it. The one thing you want to stay away from with vellum is you just don't want to put it through your embossing folder because you probably will crack and tear it. But other than that, it's a really wonderful substrate that can be used on a multitude of projects. All right, you guys, I certainly hope that you enjoyed this video. Until next time, I'm Betsy Golden. Happy crafting.